Right, hello everyone. I'm sure you're wondering kind of what I have going on here. Um, Basically I couldn't find any better way to record OBS with OBS. So what is this? Well, this is a tutorial on how to use OBS. Now, I believe that when you first start up OBS, you will have this screen here. Look at the first one because the rest are just going to replicate themselves because, you know, that's what OBS will do if you allow it. You know what, there might be, I think there's a way I can make it so that we don't have to see this craziness. Okay. For now, we'll just use that. So, at the beginning, when I'm pointing around at stuff anyways, when I'm actually doing stuff, you're going to have the mirror effect, tunnel effect. So, it's been requested for me to show you kind of how to set up OBS. Basically, when you first have OBS, I don't think you'll have anything. These two will be blank, and if you press the start recording or start streaming button, this right here, this window will be blank. It'll be black. I can show you that right now, actually. Well, no, I can't because the entire screen will go black. But basically, you'll see this inside your preview window. And how you do that, how you fix this is you add a scene if there's not one already there. If there is, open it up. On your sources side, this is everything that you're capturing. Now, you'll have to play with some of them, but the ones that I've found the most helpful have been game capture and window capture. Monitor capture captures your whole monitor, but is very slow. If you're going to do a full screen game, you're better off doing game capture. So basically, if we just go game capture, and I will just leave it general, and basically you will come up with a list of applications here. Yes, I know. And you can record any of them. So if we, say, want to look at my Newegg shopping cart, we can do that right here if I put in a game capture. If we bring that up, it will stay up because it is the game capture. Another thing you can do with this that's very useful is stretch image to screen. This will also help in any games that you may be running. Let me just see here. That is weird that OBS doesn't record Steam at all. Thank you, OBS. Anyways, if you were just to run a game, any of these games, here this runs in windowed mode, and I recently recorded it. Basically, here's what game capture can do for you. I have it in all that. Shoot, I forgot to... Oh, wait, no, this one isn't it? Okay, so here's the problem. If you don't have something, if you open something in Administrator and OBS is not an administrator, you can't record it. And it will come up down here for your things. You can record anything else. Stretch to image to screen will stretch an image to the screen. Window capture will still be able to record anything, but you're better off making game capture work. Window capture works for anything that doesn't have it, and you can just add one like... Whoops, what did I just do? You can have one just like this. You can just add a window capture. Say, oh yeah, that's a nice window you got there. Let's just capture that. Oh yeah, look at that lovely window. Right there. Oh yeah, look at it. And, you know, the windows might not quite come up correctly, and so what you'll end up having to do is do a position and size and just say fit to screen. It'll fill up your screen as much as it can if it's not part of your resolution. Okay, so that's pretty much it for getting it all set up on this first part. You, of course, have your microphone volume settings and your audio volume settings. Let's go into the settings, because these are helpful. We should just close this game down. Yes, I'm sure I want to quit before anything happens. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so here we have the settings. They're quite good. And, general, this should pretty much be self-explanatory. Encoding. If you have a good computer, as the person who requested this video does, QuickSync and NVIDIA NVENC will be available to you. QuickSync is Intel's onboard encoding core that is used for nothing but encoding video. So if you have an Intel processor that has that, I would suggest even using QuickSync over the NVIDIA NVENC, just because it's actually supposed to be better, and it won't take away any processing time from your graphics card, which is really, really good. I have used CBR on because if you're going to do any streaming to Twitch, Twitch wants CBR. If you have it off, then this value is your quality balance. The closer it is to 10, the more stationary objects are clear, but the less moving object, but the more blurry moving scenes are. If you have it at 0, it'll make moving scenes better, but your stationary scenes won't be as good. Your bitrate, the higher you put it, the better quality your video will be. It's just how it is. For streaming, you have to use in between 1000 and 2000 for Twitch. And if you set it up, like right now... Anyways, we'll come back to this because it's more important later on. The X264 encoder just uses your processor, so if you have one of the other two, I would suggest using one of the other two. And I'll turn use CBR back on because I use that. Yep, go ahead and keep that. Okay, here you go. You have your Twitch stuff. Basically, you just go in, you select the Twitch from there, and then you do the stuff. If you also just want to be able to if you want to record to a file, you check this box right here. Excuse me. You check this box right here. You can then tell it where you want it to save it to. And there are some variables you can add that'll actually do stuff for you. But you can also it will just add like 1, 2, 3 onto the end of it if you make multiples of whatever it is. Replay buffer, I don't really use this too much. You can play with it, but I haven't seen much of anything good come of the replay buffer or this temporary path. Probably just keep those defaults if you have them. Next, we come to the video. It should detect your first... It'll probably automatically, by default, be on your first monitor. If you want a custom resolution, such as if you have a monitor that's like 6:4 and you want to be able to record at widescreen, then you put in a widescreen resolution of 16:9 is the widescreen resolutions. So, YouTube automatically accepts widescreen resolutions. And then you have the option of downscaling. Downscaling can help a lot in your video quality if you can't quite encode 1080p at any kind of decent rate. So I'm downscaling to 720p right now just because my computer handles it better most of the time, at least with smaller file sizes. And then you can also do better filters for downscaling. Right now, I'm just downscaling normally. And FPS, you can set that to 60 if your games you're going to run at 60. I mean, you know, YouTube supports it these days, so if that's what you're doing this for. And then disable arrow. You want to check this if you're ever going to use monitor capture. Otherwise, monitor capture will be terribly slow. Very slow. Oh yeah, we'll save that. This is where you make sure everything's set up. Desktop audio device. I technically am using my headset. And I'm technically using this for sure every single time. Push to talk delay, blah blah blah. That's if you're using push to talk. It's not necessarily on default. Hotkeys are keys you can set up to do stuff as shortcuts. As you can see, I don't have many set. That's because I like alt tabbing and doing this stuff since I edit it later. Edit all the videos later. Alright, so for most everyone's computer, you're probably going to want to use multi-threaded optimizations. I've considered turning it off just because I'm running a dual core right now, so it might actually be better if it wasn't trying to use both threads. You can play with this setting of the priority. I would say either anywhere from normal to high is probably good. High is definitely going to make sure everything will be fine, you know. And disable encoding while previewing, that's just good to have on most of the time. You can play with some of these settings, of course. Allow other modifiers on hotkeys. I guess so. And sometimes this buffer can help with a few things, but usually it's not a problem to leave it at 1000. Anyways, here is your X264 CPU preset. I'm not sure if you'll get this if you're able to use QuickSync. But basically, you want to put it up. The farther down you go, the better your video will look, but also the more it will take from your CPU. Like, if I go from very fast to faster, it takes up about twice as much of my CPU to do that. So, when I'm doing 1080p right now, because I don't have a good computer, I go ultra fast. But how I keep the video looking good is I allow it to, well, you know... Wait a minute, QuickSync encoder. Okay, here's where you would change your QuickSync settings. You'd have to play around with it. I have no idea what any of this does. But, you know, have fun if you're using QuickSync. Just start playing around with it, seeing what your computer does, how it looks. Look it up on the internet, too. There's plenty of stuff on there. Sorry I don't have QuickSync. I wish I did. I really wish I did. But yeah, I think that's everything. I was gonna say, if you're still using X264, you want to use the higher your bitrate is, the larger your file is, however, also the better your video looks. So, when I'm recording 1080p, I can't stream it because I have to go up to like a 75,000 kilobits per second bitrate to make it look good. Because to make my computer fast enough, I have to go up to the ultra-fast encoding preset. And that's, like, it makes your video look bad if you don't do that, so... That's how those settings kind of go together. For most of you out there, a lot of games will run if you even just record on your CPU, but probably try to figure out your QuickSync or NVIDIA NVENC settings, NVENC, whatever. But yeah, anyways, that has been a quick tutorial on the basics of this thing. You can actually see that you can crop different frames, size different frames. You can add in, if you wanted a, like, face cam, you can add in a video capture device, and that will be able to grab your webcam or whatever you're using, and you can put your face, you can resize it and put it in a corner that you want, drag and drop windows and stuff. It's really pretty good software if you just tinker with it. Right-clicking helps a lot. Just right-clicking on every single screen you ever have will give you a lot of options. And yeah, so that's been this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed and were able to understand. And until next time, I will see you all later. Bye!